Hello, my dear friends. Welcome back to my channel. Really happy to have you here with me today. If you are on the eastern seaboard, you may be encountering a lot of storminess today. I certainly am. It's a few days before Christmas and it is freezing, freezing, freezing rain outside. I know a lot of you are probably getting snow, blustery wind, etc., etc. So I hope you are quietly panicking if you are preparing for the holidays. Indoors today, I have a candle review for you and it's a special one. I've been teasing it for quite a bit. I have today my very favorite Christmas tree scent of all time. And there are so many Christmas tree scents out there. They're a dime a dozen. And to be honest, I've kind of always thought that they were a little like frozen pizza in that even when they're bad, they're kind of great, if you know what I mean. There is just something about a tree scent that is a little bit hard to mess up. That said, there are pine, spruce, cypress, tree scents that are fairly generic. They're often softer than they should be, less bitey, a little bit artificial or mixed in with things that are like weirdly sweet, etc., etc. So even in the genre of very good Christmas tree scents, there are some that are better than others. There are companies that have an entire backlog of various different tree scents for the holidays, for fall and winter in general, some of which are branded and marketed specifically for like January, February, many of which are branded and mixed particularly for the holidays. So you will see a lot of Christmas tree scents that have mixtures or blends that are spicy, like clove-like or cinnamon-like or etc., etc. And those are obviously usually branded a little bit more for the holidays. There are some pine scents that are just unabashed pine scents and they really don't have a whole lot of a blend. That is the category of candle that I want to talk to you about today, which is just a straight up Christmas tree in your house kind of scent. And drum roll please, the winner in my opinion for the best all around pure, deep, expressive, and strong, very strong candle in this genre is from the company Thymes. Thymes is spelled T-H-Y-M-E-S. I have like a little mini here and it looks like so. Thymes. I apologize for my manicure, by the way. It's before Christmas. So the scent is Frasier Fir. Frasier Fir. This is a travel tin, okay? It's their smallest receptacle. This is a 2.5 ounce situation. You can also get like a glass votive. The votives are less than that. They're actually 2 ounces, but they are in glass rather than in tin. These are not inexpensive. This travel tin will set you back $12. And that's through Thymes. Now you can get these on Amazon fairly well, and I do trust Amazon to be sending you a pretty good unadulterated product. The price doesn't vary a whole lot from the Thymes website. If it varies at all, it just goes higher, which tells me that they may have an arrangement with Thymes. They may be mailed directly or shipped directly from Thymes to Amazon, etc., etc. So rest assured, you're probably getting it off of Amazon and it might be the most accessible way for you to get it. These particular Frasier Fir candles from Thymes, they've been showing up in brick and mortar retail shops more and more over the last like 5 or 10 years, I have to say. Very high-end boutiques will have them, but I'm noticing even some more mid-range stores are starting to carry Thymes Frasier Fir. Frasier Fir for Thymes is their #1 bestseller, end of story. They do have a lot of other scents, combinations, etc. Not only of candles, but they're actually more of a home fragrance slash body fragrance kind of company. So to me, I don't know how long they've been around. It says Minneapolis, Minnesota. For me, this is kind of one of those more older generation stores like Crabtree and Evelyn, if you are familiar with that particular store. I grew up with that. It was a standby in all the malls. Crabtree and Evelyn leans a little older in terms of the demographic and clientele. Amazing packaging, very expensive, a little on the flowery side, etc. It's definitely not for a modern audience, and you pay a lot for it. It's generally a pretty quality product. Because of the clientele and the demographic, companies like Thymes and Crabtree and Evelyn, the scents lean a little heavy, they lean a little perfumey, they lean a little, just, it's not modern, it's not fresh, and it's not light. We'll just put it that way. But they do have, both of these companies usually have 1 or 2 scents that just have really broad appeal regardless. And for Thymes, it is Frasier Fir. I think probably this scent line for them is subsidizing every single one of their other scents and all of their other lines. End of story, and it will till the end of time, right? Okay, so let's talk about it. Frasier Fir is, it's just everything you want. First of all, I wanna say, even though you're gonna spend a lot of money for these candles, and I'll get into the prices here in a second, even though you're gonna spend a lot for these candles, you are getting a lot. The burn quality on their candles is extraordinary. You're not gonna have any problems. They're gonna burn clean all the way down. And the amount of scent oils that they have in these candles, it is really magnificent. You are not gonna have trouble with throw with these particular candles, even if you have a very small candle. If you've gone with a 2 ounce or a 4 ounce or a 6 ounce, it is gonna fill your room. It is gonna fill more than your room. Really fantastic in terms of quality. And when you see premium candle companies charging a lot of money, you wanna get your money's worth. I would say the prices on this all their Thymes candles, they are comparable to like the Nest candle company, for instance. But for me, Nest doesn't always burn right. It doesn't always throw right. For me, it's usually a little overrated, that Nest company. I can really vouch for the burn and for the strength and throw on the Thymes candles. Okay, so the scents here on the Thymes website, they just give you three straight up. The 3 are Siberian Fir, cedarwood, sandalwood. Interestingly, y'all know I love some sandalwood. I love some sandalwood, I love some amber. I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm not feeling a whole lot of sandalwood. And you know why I'm not feeling sandalwood or smelling it here, picking up on it? Not that it's not there, is because that Siberian Fir is just taking over your world. It is taking over everything. It is fresh, it is green, it is bright, it is everything that you want a pine to be. The cedarwood and the sandalwood, if there, are really just kind of rounding out a little bit so that it doesn't feel like a shallow or biting kind of fragrance. It's soft and it's warm, as well as like a pine tree in your house can possibly be. It is a fantastic, I can't think of any other candle, frankly. And I have burned a lot, and I love a lot of pine spruce candles. From almost every excellent candle company, they will have at least one, if not several. There is no pine fragrance like this one. And you have to trust me on this. The minute you smell this, end of story. Now, I bought it in the travel tin because I buy a ton of candles, and you can't be spending $100 on every candle that you buy. And I really wanted to be sure on this. So I bought it in the travel tin, which I will link below in the Amazon Dropbox. And like I said, these run about $12, a little less so if you can find it discounted, etc. I don't recommend the travel tins except for if you really just want to have a smell. Weirdly, sometimes I have to use a wrench to get these lids off. They go on and they don't come off. Some of them come off okay, but I would say that for the most part, they're very difficult. So if you really are interested in just kind of a test, I would actually recommend you just get like the glass votive or something like that, because you're not gonna have the nonsense and it's gonna display a little bit better even in your bathroom or whatever else. Pricing on these babies. So the good news here is that Thymes has this fragrance in every possible combination, every possible vessel, ounce, contribution, etc. So there is the votive. The votive runs $16, so about $4 more, and it's actually 2 ounces, so it's a little bit less, but it's in a glass votive, usually with some pines around it. Every year they change their packaging a little bit, by the way. They'll have a special glass with like a gold bow on it, etc., etc. And then they have what they call the heritage look, which is this like fir look right here. And on the frosted glass, it's usually just like actual pine branches. So then their small candle is about 6.5 ounces. And it's usually a glass. And that runs you about 34 bucks. I saw a special one for this year that was 7.5 ounces and it was 36. So like a couple dollars more. Their mediums run from about 10 ounces to 12 ounces, and those will set you back about 46 bucks. And then they do have a 3-wick that is the 12. It's actually 12.5, so it's comparable to like a Bath and Body Works size. And it is 49 bucks, so that's not cheap. They have a 17-ounce 3-wick this year that is $58. And if you have, money is no option, they have a quote-unquote statement 4-wick candle that is 40 ounces and it's about $104. And I know that's a lot, but if you compare them to some premium candle brands like Nest, for instance, it's well within that, and I think at least as good a quality, if not better. They also have reed diffusers, they have an essential oil, they have car fragrance, literally they have hand lotions, creams, like soaps. They are really cashing in on this, and they should be, because it's everything. And like I said, it's subsidizing like their entire company, no doubt. They actually have like a fragrance tissue paper, a Frasier Fir. So if the witness of the consumer's choice means anything to you, this is really one that you need to check out. So that's the pricing on it. You can go to the Thymes website. Usually in December, they run some sort of 15 to 20% off of everything online, which is a big deal for them. Usually it's not discounted in the brick and mortar stores. And it's not even discounted after Christmas. I mean, this is just one of those year-round money makers for them. This is my favorite though. Thymes Frasier Fir. And I think going forward, I personally am just gonna invest late November, early December in a solid, at least a 12 ounce of the Frasier Fir, and just know that it is one of those fragrances I just can't do without at the holidays. I do have a little bonus for you. I don't know if this is their second bestseller, Thymes, but I suspect it is, just in terms of the number of combinations and formats that I do see online for them, and the fact that it comes around every single year. And that is, in another travel tin, Heirlum Pumpkin. Heirlum Pumpkin, obviously, this is marketed for a little bit before the Frasier Fir season in December. And I love this. This is probably one of my favorite pumpkin scents, for sure. So I bought this, actually the label on the bottom says Oakland Nursery. I found this in a nursery. It was my favorite nursery back in Columbus, Ohio. Shout out to Columbus, Ohio. Oakland Nursery. That's my hometown. It's where I was born and raised. I was with my sister, after, in the spring sometime when they were having some sort of semi-annual sale. And they just had a basket of these candles. And I said, Heirlum Pumpkin. I think I've smelled that before. And they were $1 a piece. $1. I picked like 6 or 7 of these up. I bought them all. I was like, give me all of those. And I will set this sometimes, or I did, during the fall season. I would set it like in the bathroom, like when you're having a bubble bath or something, and it would fill that space like crazy. Heirlum Pumpkin The notes here are caramel, pumpkin, vanilla bean, and cinnamon. And that's what you're smelling for sure. You do smell a soft cinnamon. I'm not a cinnamon gal. It's not red hot, but it is spicy. I will tell you that when it's burned, the cinnamon lifts off and it kind of hangs right at the top, but then from underneath, you've got that roasty orange, fresh pumpkin. Well, I guess fresh is different than roasty. It's like the opposite of it's mostly roasty because it's got the caramel. It's a caramelized kind of pumpkin that almost leans a little savory, like it's that roasty, but then like the caramel, brown sugar, vanilla kind of, and with the cinnamon fills that out to obviously be a little bit of a sweeter fragrance, but not overly so. It is gorgeous. It is a gorgeous pumpkin scent. I would say that this is great. Heirlum, the company Heirlum, also has a good pumpkin that I think they're trying to kind of mock or mimic this, because I think it's called Heritage Pumpkin, maybe, or something like that. And it's similar. It's a similar scent. For the strength and throw, I would probably go with this one over the Heirlum, but the Heirlum is obviously going to be much less expensive. Again, the pricing on this is about the same. They have less, like you're not going to get fragrance tissue paper of Heirlum Pumpkin, but they do every year try to bring out several different combinations and packaging, and they usually have a really sweet like copper and or gold pumpkin vessel with a little wood top or a copper top, and it's like about 4 ounces or something like that, and it's like $26 or $24 or something like that. Oh, they even have a tin, I think, that is even less expensive, and it's like a good 4 to 6 ounces. So if you are looking for a pumpkin, check that one out as well. But if you're only gonna check out one, let it be Frasier Fir, which is just everything. Okay, so that's Thymes Frasier Fir and Heirlum Pumpkin. I'm gonna link below the links for Amazon, for both of them, frankly. But then I'll also go ahead and provide those links for the Thymes website itself, which of course you can have maximum confidence in getting exactly what it is that you want, but you're gonna have to pay shipping. I do think that the shipping on the Thymes website is free over $50, which frankly, it's not easy. I mean, it's not hard to break 50 when you're shopping at Thymes. Thank you so much for my video. I hope you really check them out. And I'm gonna have several videos posting over the next couple weeks. So definitely stay tuned and stay posted.